and there's actually a clearing up here that's wide open, and my trail could hit that clearing and just go. All my life I've had a dream that maybe one day I could own a beautiful piece of property with a pond and trails and basically exactly what I have. And it's such a blessing to be the steward of this piece of land. But I have a vision for what I want this property to look like, and it involves having a trail up to the top of Rock Hill that I can access all of my property and at least do some basic maintenance to remove dead trees and clear the undergrowth. Today we took a big step towards making that dream a reality. So I couldn't get this work done without the mini excavator, but I think the tractor is going to end up doing a lot of the work anyway. Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Farm, and today we're going to try to make some real progress on building a trail across my Rock Hill. This is crazy treacherous terrain to be dealing with. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but a lot of these rocks probably weigh 2,000 pounds. They're absolutely enormous. And I'm trying to cut my way through here with a mini excavator. And it's just a little 3.5 ton, 8,000 pound unit. This is where I stopped last time. This is still unusable. And this is the rocks we've pulled out. And this is the trail that we have so far. Well guys, I recorded that intro about 2 hours ago. And since then, I've been kind of stuck in a decision-making process. I have a major decision about this road that I need to make right now. We got the machine right here. We've got our property line marked down there. Now I have to decide, I want to hit the property line as close as I can. I want this trail to drive right along the property line all the way back to the back corner over this hill. The question is, do I go straight through the middle? This part, the ground, once you get up there, it slopes like this, and the rocks are the size of a Volkswagen. That'll be hard sledding. I could come down here, and the work would be a little easier. The finished trail would be a little more straight, but I would actually be admitting defeat that I couldn't make it across the toughest part of the hill, and I wouldn't be accomplishing my stated goal of gaining access to the top half of my property. But if I take the trail I've got here and then continue it this way, this will be some tough area to go through. But if I come straight up here, this is still all tough, but when you get right there, it all changes. Let me show you. But when I get up right here, I mean, that's all thick with thorns, but it's pretty flat ground. And there's actually a clearing up here that's wide open. And my trail could hit that clearing and just go. Now the path from me to the excavator will be tough, but the finished product would be a lot better if I cut right through here. So here is the marker for my property line. So if we look up here, you can see the mini excavator right there. We'll just get the drone up in the air, but I think the property line may be farther over, which will make my digging a lot easier. So this is a drone shot of my property, and I've tried to put that black line where I believe my property line is. And I'm trying to locate that in relation to the trail. Now if you see the house on the right, then in between the house and that black line, you'll see the trail. And at the end of that trail sits the mini excavator. And it looks to me like I might have 30 or 40 feet that I could go up the hill into that better ground without leaving my property. And once I got to the top, it would be easier to work on. So I'm going to try that. So after looking at all that footage and then walking up here and then looking at the footage again, I don't think I want to go through there and then straight across. I think I want to cut over here and then up. And as I look at this, I actually think I want to keep this tree. This is an oak tree, right? And it's starting to get decent size on it. I want some nice oak trees out here. So I think I need to cut on one side of this tree. So what that means is probably that I've already went too far that way. I need to go around that tree and then cut my trail here and then up this way. And that'll be easier digging, and I'll like the location of that better. So now, the problem is, when you try to bulldoze with it, and there's rocks that are buried, it doesn't work very well. So now this is why you need a machine like this instead of a skid steer, because I need to get that individual rock out before I bulldoze anymore. Now, if you guys follow the channel, you know that I used to have a John Deere 325G skid steer. It was a bigger, heavier machine than this, and a lot of people have been telling me that that's the right type of machine to use for a job like this. Either the skid steer or renting a bulldozer, which is a whole nother story. But I tried doing this with the skid steer and gave up. And what happens with the skid steer is it can easily dislodge these buried rocks. But then you have a new problem that you can't easily sort them out. Every rock that you can see the tip of protruding out of the ground either has to be left or dug out. Some of them can be left, but if you choose to dig it out, once you dislodge it, you have to find a way to get it in the bucket. And at that point, you've dug big holes. And what you really need is the ability to sort material. When I tried to do this with the skid steer, I found myself getting out of the machine constantly and putting rocks into the bucket by hand. The type of stuff I do, it always comes in handy to have a pile of dirt sitting around. Now, I've made it clear that I don't think I could do this job without the mini excavator. And it's critical for sorting all these rocks out, hand picking these rocks off of the trail. But I don't think I could finish the job without the tractor. to haul the dirt and smooth it out. This is a situation where a dump trailer would solve a lot of problems. It's a pretty good drive from my dirt pile to where I'm building the trail, and I'm doing that one bucket at a time. And the tractor, you know, doesn't set any land speed records going up and down this trail. So hopefully I can get another dump trailer at some point and make this type of work go a lot faster. After switching over from SAE to ISO control pattern, I'm starting to get a little bit comfortable with it, where most of the time I'm not having to think about what I'm doing. And it's getting better with every hour I put on this machine. But it's a long journey from getting comfortable with the control pattern to being a competent operator. Hopefully, within the next few months, I can put a few hundred hours on this and not be so clumsy with it. I'm really starting to enjoy running this machine. It's just about the right size for my property because it's the biggest machine I could haul, and anything bigger than this, not only can you not haul it, but it becomes unrealistic for people to afford it. So I'd love to have a giant excavator, but I really think this is the size of machine that makes sense for me and maybe for a lot of people. This is good progress. Now I think I don't want this sharp turn right here, so I think I'll probably take all of these rocks out of here so that as you come up the trail, it's more of a gradual curve around here. But I was actually talking to someone today who might be buying these rocks from me, so I'm gonna leave them right there for now. It's not a big deal to just come around it here. Then we're gonna come this way. And I think right now I'm probably on the property line. Property line's probably like right around in here. So we're gonna come this way and we're gonna head that way. What I have to keep reminding myself is that I'm not trying to dig a hole. I'm trying to make a smooth trail. And to finish the point I was making earlier about doing this with the skid steer, it did a great job of dislodging all these rocks, and I could work the rocks out. But when you've got a 7-foot wide bucket and you're trying to get a couple of individual rocks into the bucket, but they are below grade, what I found myself doing was digging a hole and just keep getting deeper. You could almost make this easier by just bringing in new dirt and piling it on top of a lot of these rocks, but some of them stick up too far for that, and it's kind of hard to get good clean dirt that isn't full of big rocks around here. I don't even know where I would get it, and if I did, it would be probably expensive. So I think I'm striking a good balance by removing that top layer of rocks, and then the area that I have left when I'm done still has rocks in it, but it's just slightly depressed and nothing sticking up, and then just a light layer of the fill dirt I already have on top of that. I don't know if any of this makes sense. I'm just figuring it out as I go, but I'm trying to do this project without spending any more money than I already have invested in the equipment. And then I have a decision to make about top dressing the whole trail. I've talked about covering it with crushed limestone. I've talked about covering it with bark and mulch from the firewood process and a wood chipper. Or I've talked about just getting it clear and then letting grass grow in to prevent erosion. So the idea of using crushed limestone to cover this trail is probably out before I even got the words out of my mouth, because once again that would be an expensive option, because we're talking about 1,000 foot of trail. It would also feel a little bit unnatural and be hard to maintain. Grass would eventually grow through it if I wasn't up here frequently. So that does leave another option for rock, because I have all this rock. A lot of people are suggesting that I buy or rent a rock crusher, and I've done some searches. I can't find them at all to rent, and the units I'm finding to buy are like $20,000 and $30,000. Maybe I'm not understanding what it is I'm looking for when you say a rock crusher. But a lot of people have suggested I turn all of these giant pieces of sandstone into gravel, and I just don't know how to do that. I always get comments from the experienced operators telling me how I could do this better, and I appreciate those comments because I learn from them, especially if they are polite in how they say it. It can help all of us learn. But essentially, I'm doing this myself, and we only know what we know. And today, this is the best plan I can come up with for doing it. And if the only way to get it done was to rent a bulldozer, I don't know that I would ever have the budget for that. My friend Lucas at Peaks Peak Hobby Homestead just had a road built across his property, and he had a bulldozer come in, and they did it in a couple days. And I think he spent $15,000 on it. And as much as I talk about it being a dream of mine to have a trail across here, I don't think I could ever spend $15,000 on it. And I'm also concerned about the devastation that might leave behind. As you see that little tree just to the right of the machine, I want that tree there. I don't just want chaos and destruction through here either. I'm trying to do it and have it still feel like you're in nature. Well, I've made a lot of progress. I was hoping to make more, but I want you guys to see what this trail looks like and where it's going and what the point of it is. This is the Bighorn 550 EFI side-by-side that'll be running on it a lot. Right here's my front porch. So straight out the front door, there's the trail. So I'm gonna put the camera on the side-by-side and show you what we've got so far. I don't know what that looked like from the point of view we had, but I am going to soften that turn right there to make this more of a straight shot. I'm really happy with the progress. Now, when we get from here about another 100 feet, I think this is going to flatten out and get easy. And we're going to get this sucker knocked out. So I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.